Hello everybody, here's Wei Ming for Team D. Here I'm going to show you how to connect Watson Discovery with NodeRed and how to transform between Watson Assistant and Watson Discovery and the NodeRed. So let's begin to connect Discovery with NodeRed first. So in here you can see I have set out something. We have set out a flowchart with only Watson Discovery. Now I'm going to show you how to connect Watson Discovery with NodeRed first. So let me do the configuration here. As you can see here, since I already connect all of them, I'm going to disconnect the Watson Discovery and reconnect it again so you can see the flow of it. So first of all, let me rebind. Let's wait. Oh no, what is this? Okay. Okay, let's begin. So first of all, go to your Watson Discovery service, and you can see in here. In here, you can see we have something called Create Connection. So click it. Now, since I already set up my NodeRed, which is in here is Watson chatbot, so you click this, connect, and actually you don't need to care about all of these, just press connect. Now it's connecting. The connection, yes. So we just need to wait for it. Launch to. This process would take long. Let's see. So I just opened my Watson Discovery. As you can see, I have loaded 30 documents. So later I'll show you how to do a query from NodeRed and see the result in NodeRed. Lost connection. As you can see here, since I disconnected, it will lost connection. Later on, let's see if not running. I have to quit this first, I guess. Try now. I guess I need to sign out, I guess. Okay, leave. Not running. As you can see, it's connected. Let's open this. Let's see. Oh no, what? Why is this not running? NodeRed. Is this running? Okay. Now look in. Still not running? What? Okay. So if we connect this successfully, let me refresh this to see if it's running on that. Go back, service. As you can see, it's running now. What happened? It's so basically Watson discovery is connected with the NodeRed now. Now we need to do something. We need to add the environmental ID and collection ID from the Watson discovery. So you can find them in I believe in not here. You have to go in. In here. You can find the collection ID and environmental ID in here. So since I'm using the, let's see if they are the same one or not. Environmental ID. Okay, same one. Collection ID. What? Now we press deploy, and please, since this is for the timestamp as a trigger for the discovery, now we need to put some question like let's put some question in here. Like, since our project is related to chemistry, let me have a question for it. We have some questions. Let's see. Was considered as a flammable liquid, I guess. Okay. Now this green box will show you the result for the search for Watson discovery. Now let's deploy. Let me see the debug. Open the debug. Not this one. Where's debug? Wait. Debug. I want debug. Will show debug message in here. Now let's press this timestamp once. As you can see, it's requesting answer for Watson discovery. Let us wait for some strings and see if it returns. And as you can see here, we have successfully find 26 matches from Watson discovery. Let's see. Result array 10 untrained. Let's see the first one. Physical hazard critical. So let's search the same question in the discovery to see if actually connect to the same one. Where's my discovery? Here. Now I do a search in here. Search for document. Use natural language. Delete this. Run query. Now let's just, since the object is returned as a JSON, as you can see, it returned 26. Same in here, 26. Now I picked the one with the most confidence score, which is this one. Physical hazard. So you can see the return to result are the same. Yes. Now this is basically how you connect Watson discovery with NodeRed. Now the next step is to show you guys how to connect Watson Assistant with Watson Discovery in the NodeRed. Now we need to go for in the flow 3 I demonstrate how to connect those two and how to connect Watson Discovery. Now I'm going to flow 2 with the Telegram receiver. Now so as you can see, let's say, oh, I don't need this one. Here. The green box is for debug only. Now we let's say receiver sender. So as you can see in here, if I connect this sender with this function block, it would be the original Watson Assistant to Telegram chatbot. But I expanded a little bit so it can receive both. It can use it can answer questions. It can answer different kind of questions, short-term question and long-term questions. Now since I already have some questions in here, now we came out with some short-term questions for the Watson Assistant. Let me show you a larger screen. In here, short-term questions, and we also came out with some long-term questions as here. Now we input those short-term questions to Watson Assistant. Let's see where's Watson Assistant. Watson Assistant here. Watson Assistant. Get started to no. Launch it too. Peter in our class demonstrated how to connect Watson Assistant with NodeRed, so I don't need to show it in here. Let's go to MySQL. I'm using which one? This one, I guess. Dialog. Atmosphere. This one. Let me see the API code. The API code. The API detail. 1658. Yes, I connected this one. So we need to we have short-term questions. So I used intent to create those short questions. Let me click into one of them. As you can see in here, I asked the same question in 3 different ways, so the Watson Assistant can train it on the NLP to see different like they can it can classify different questions to the same how can I say this, it can you can input like you can ask what you want in different ways, but the Watson Assistant will return one single answer, depends on the type of your question. So in here, I ask what is an atmospherical tank in 3 different ways, like in different ways. And the assignment we have to ask like one same question in 10 different ways, so the Watson Assistant can train it better. Now I only have 3. I will train it later, I guess. Now let's go back. Whoa. Now let's try the thing in now let me blah, blah, blah. So if I let me disconnect this with the rest of the my project. We only want to see the first part I get. Deploy. Now, as you can see, it's successfully deployed. Now we ask the same question in Telegram. Let's ask a short-term question. What is blah blah blah? You will not be expecting the answer in Telegram since I don't have the connection with the NodeRed. As you can see, I send the result back in here. Wait. Let me delete this first so you can see better. So let's go here. So this is our debug. As we can see, where is this? So in here, it successfully recognized my question, this MSG payload, and here, the second green box, this green box, successfully detect that we have certain content. You see? So it returns something, right? Now let's ask a long-term question that I didn't train it on the, that I didn't put it on wasn't assistant. Now let's see what will happen. What is considered a flammable liquid? Yes. Clay, sand. Now you also let's wait. Okay, both of them came out just so you can see what is considered as flammable liquid in here. The debug box detect this, and the second debug box, which is this one, detect only two objects. Detect only two objects. One is character ID, one is type, but it didn't return any content. So it means that we don't have this answer in our Watson Assistant. I can show you by just using Watson Assistant. Where is it? Where is it? Now let's ask the same question in here. As you can see, even though it marked this question as irrelevant and returned nothing. Now let's use a short point question. Since I didn't train this question in Watson System, let's see the difference. As you can see, if I have a short-term question, it returned some content to the. It returned through the Watson Assistant, but it didn't return a question for a long-term question. So, how NodeRed detect this difference is by return, like, as you can see here, it returned only two objects, but it should contain an extra object called content that contains your answer, but it didn't. So this is our key to determine which question is from Watson Assistant and which question is from Watson Discovery. Now I will connect this function with the rest of my flow. I should change the name for this. So this is Watson Discovery. Okay. You guys should know how this two works. Like this is only, but no, sorry. You guys should not know how this works. You guys should know how like in here, I basically did nothing in here. So in this function, I passed the MSG, to Watson discovery, and like if you have I passed the MSG to Watson discovery, but you have to add something in here. In the first line, in the link to Watson assistant, like you send the Telegram receiver to link to Watson assistant. The let's see, the basic one looks like I don't have it. What? Okay. The basic one only contains MSG char ID and MSG payload and return MSG. But in order for use Watson discovery in NodeRed, you have to include MSG discovery parameter empty, discovery parameter LP query as true, and MSG discovery parameter query MSG payload. So the first one means the answer returned. The second one means you basically is doing a natural language processing query. The third one is basically the question you gotta put into the Watson discovery. Now let's see. You guys know this. Let's see. You guys know this. Yeah, you guys know this. This you don't need to check it. Now you have to like I just said in the previous flow, you have to connect the environmental ID and connection ID, and click the query in plain language. Since this is basically you search in normal language instead of the code that wasn't what discovery specified. Now for the remaining term, I didn't. And still remember to collect the search in collection, since this one was search in your collection. Others, as you can see, you have many other things, but our purpose is to search in our documents. See close. Now the important thing in here is this one. Now as you can see, it's kind of long, but it's not. So the condition in here, if I in Java, I don't know if this is JavaScript. Like, if I don't have, like as you can see in this function, in here, I have some. If I detect something from Watson, Watson assistant, I put the objects in a structure called MSG payload and return this MSG. Now in this thing, so we know that sometimes it will not return a content to our MSG. So in this if function means if the MSG payload content is undefined, so which means it doesn't exist, so we will mark the MSG payload as the from the Watson discovery instead of Watson system. So as you can see, is kind of similar to it, but the content is from msg.search._result passage text. So it's basically connect. Let me run an example for you guys. Deploy. I need to delete this first. And this one is what is considered what copy paste. Okay. So in here, let's see the flow of it. Now I have successfully detected this. What is considered a flammable liquid in this green box. Now in here, since this is a long-term question, it will not detect the context variable in here. So you will go to Watson Discovery. You'll go to Watson Discovery, and not this one, this one, and search for result in here. And after this function in here, it should classify which function, which question you, how can I say this? What type of function? Like, you want the question from, you want the answer from Watson Assistant, or you want the answer from Watson Discovery. This function determines that. Now let's go here. Like this. Oh, this is the. Now, as you can see, this MSG search result get 26 matches, just like the same thing in our Watson Discovery query. Now, the returned part, I don't need this payload. The returned part, as you can see, since we have we write this, we have this after Watson Discovery. So if we don't have any answer coming back from Watson Assistant, we have this. If blah blah blah, if it doesn't return any answer, we write our Watson Discovery's answer into MSG payload. MSG search result, the passages, the passage text, this thing. Otherwise, if we have, let's say, let me see, at the outstation, if the is basically this, if we do have answer returned by Watson Assistant, it will just return that MSG instead of rewriting MSG structure. Delete this. I think comment out this one, okay, this one. So let's do example in here. So you can see the full connection is basically set to this. Telegram receiver link to Watson Assistant, MSG payload, prepare for Telegram, and this function you can ignore this function. And Watson Discovery, prepare for Telegram. This is the important thing. Now MSG result and send back to Telegram. Now I'm going to do a simple query to see in the Telegram and to see if it actually detects the thing. Let me ask a short-term question. So you should return the answer from Watson Assistant. Let me see if he's recording or not. Oh, it's recording. 28 minutes. Now, as you can see, flash point means the minimal temperature at which liquor. So this answer is given out by the Watson Assistant. I believe it's in here. Now let's go back to our flow diagram. As you can see, it asks what is flow point, flash point, and this time it returns something called context, right? Now let's go to the next message, debug message. Now the function returns the same thing, I guess. Now, since we have our answer already from Watson Assistant, but we still need to do Watson Discovery search for this same question, since we don't have that kind of if and else statement in the NodeRed JS. Like, in order to go for one, we have to have how can I say it? If and else statement node in the like it determines which flow it goes to, but in NodeRed we don't have it, so it must go to Watson discovery and find the same result as the same question in here and here, as you can see. But from this function, we know that our content from Watson assistant is not empty, so it would just go directly to this else if. So it just returned the MSG we previously had, which is this one. This is the return for Watson assistant. Now, as you can see, let's see if they're same. So we'll just go over payload, I guess. As you can see, they're the same. So you return that kind of question. Now, I believe I demonstrated this before, but let's show it one more time, I guess. Control C, Control V. Okay, delete this debug. Now, since this is a long-term question, the MSG payload will not have a content variable, so it will go. So our question will go through Watson discovery, and what is this? This is just a function. So our result from Watson discovery came out to like 26 answers, but we only want the one with the most confidence score. We only want the one with most confidence score. The most confident score is dictated in context, passage 0 passage. Like this 0 means the first one, which is the one with most confident score. Now passage result. Let's click it here. It says confidence score 15 and physical hazard criteria, and the rest is just like it's just other answers. Like we didn't train our Watson Studio yet. If you train the Watson Studio with like expert, like this thing will not return 26 answers. It will return like five answers after you train the Watson Studio, Knowledge Studio. Yes. Now, as you can see, it returned which one? Payload. You returned the answer from Watson discovery. Now this is basically how you connect Watson assistant and Watson discovery in the NodeRed. Now let's summarize this up. Now first of all, we need to test if our Watson discovery is connected in NodeRed. In here you have to where is it? In here you have to first create a connection with your NodeRed. In here they call it Watson Chopper, but it's NodeRed basic. It's called basic NodeRed. What's this going to be? So you have to create a connection first with the Watson NodeRed, and then you try to test. You have to add environmental ID and collection ID for your Watson discovery. This one, yes. For here, like you have like this is my project, and you have specific API IDs, like connect those to ID in NodeRed. Now you have to like this is the selection, but you have to collect the query in plain language. I don't know if you need to connect passage or not. Like I asked the question in here, as you can see. But if you want to do a full connection, you have to demonstrate you have to declare some variables before you do search. MSG discovery parameters empty, MSG discovery PMG for NLP query true, MSG discovery query MSG payload. So this one you have to include all three of them in order to let the Watson discovery to work. And here is basically the continuous. Since I return MSG in here, it is basically nothing. Now here, do the searching collection and environmental ID, collection ID, and that's it. Querying plain language. As you can see, we don't have any question in here, since our question is from here. Just declare your question. So once this thing meets with let's say MSG payload. As you can see, it only changed three objects in this structure. It didn't change the rest three, which is for Watson discovery. It only changed the top two, I guess. It didn't change the bottom three. Now go to here, Watson discovery. Watson discovery will return the form, and let's go to this MSG, this one. As you can see, if we have search result, it will return yes, it will return the structure in this form. Now this function is how you determine what kind of, like if you detect Watson assistant, return the answer for Watson assistant. If you don't detect the answer for Watson assistant, you search in the Watson discovery and return the answer with most confidence score, and Watson discovery to our chatbot. So this is basically it.